Hey everybody, it's Joe from Britical Saiyans here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Porunga Krillin deck profile. Bit of a weird name, but roll with it. So to start with, we've got the lead card. It works quite similar to Shenron. So it can't attack. You can switch it to rest mode to search for up to 2 Dragon Balls from deck or life, add them to your hand, then shuffle. So yeah, you can go 1 in life, 1 in deck, or whatever. And it's similar like Awakening. And that if you have 7 Dragon Balls in a drop, choose a desire, add to your hand, then flip this card over. So on this side, it still can't attack, despite him being the smallest of them all. It has the active main once per turn, you choose one following. You can either draw a card. You can choose one desire in your hand for an energy cost equal or less than your current energy and play it. And its final ability is you remove the 7 Dragon Balls from the game. If you do choose one battle card with an energy cost less than or equal to your current energy from drop, play it, and then at the end of turn flip this card over. So it's just another like revival ability, good for like the end game if you've got something big that you need to just bring out. Generally going into the deck, as always, starting with the extra cards. Oh, this is hefty on them. So to start with, we got 7 of the Porunga style Dragon Balls. They're bigger than Shenron's, but you know, some people are just luckier in life. Yes, I made a I made a male anatomy joke about dragons. Deal with it. I can see Matt can't give me a weird look, but deal with it, buddy. So next we have 3 copies of Freeze Army Healing Pod. So this is a field card. So it has the auto once per turn. When you play a green battle card from your drop area, draw a card. And the active main of pay 2 green and 2 other energy. Place this in its own drop. Choose 1 battle card with an energy cost of 4 less from your drop area and play it. I don't think the auto activates after you do it because it's left the field, so yeah. But it's just really useful because there's a lot of things that cycle in and out of the drop in this deck. So just being able to keep drawing from doing that is handy. And all your battle cards are green. Like everything is green. The only things that aren't green are like the extra cards, but that's because you have to be. And next we got 4 copies of Power Burst. So this is on the gate for the deck. So if your lead card is black, negate the attack, then choose up to 1 black back card. 1 drop with all warp with energy cost 1 less at your hand. Nothing to target. And you can do the permanent sparking 5, so you can pay for the counter using your life as long as you have 5 or more cards in your drop area. And next we have 3 copies of A Child's Wish. So this is one of our desire cards for the deck. So permanent has desire in all areas, and active main, if your lead card is a Shenron, choose up to 1 battle card in your drop area with 15 or less power and an energy cost of 3 or less and play it. So there's a good chunk of this deck that it meets, mostly the Gohans that kind of make the deck quick to play. And we also have 3 copies of Plea for Salvation. So again, against desire in all areas, it costs 4. And it has the active main of, if your lead card is a Shenron, choose 1 green battle card in your drop area with an energy cost less than or equal to your current energy and play it. Then choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 2 or less and KO it. So it's very similar to World Peace. The slight drawback is you can only play green cards, but you can potentially pop like a low cost battle card in return, so it's worth it. I use it because like basically every battle card is green. Strike that, every battle card is green, so it's just a world piece that can kill something. And yeah, it's just useful if you're focusing on green cards with a Shenron deck of any sorts. So going into battle cards, we have 3 copies of Human Shield Krillin. So this is a 1-drop 5k blocker. It's in there because we need Krillins in the drop and it's cheap, so there we go. Going into the 2 drops, we have 4 copies of our super combo, which is Ever Dependable Bulma. So a bit of a weird play here, I could have done Trunks, but Bulma works quite well actually, I think. So when you combo with this card, if your lead card is a Shenron or a green Saiyan and your life is at 5 or less, you can draw a card and this gains 10,000 combo power for the duration of turn. So obviously for Porunga is Shenron, therefore it's acceptable. It's a green battle card, so we can add it back with like Plea for Salvation if we really want. It doesn't really mess up with the flow of the deck. And being able to do it on 5 or less life is just as good as Bite Sparking to a sense, because you're likely to take 1 or 2 life searching a Dragon Ball and just being attacked in general. So there's no real huge downside to it, it's just not as quick as Trunks, but oh well. Next we've got our Gohans. So there is 4 copies of the Fledgling Duo Gohan and 4 copies of Friend Summoning Gohan. So starting with Fledgling Duo, it's a 2-drop 5k, it has Barrier and the permanent ability of reduce the energy cost of Krillin cards in your hand by 1. So you still have to pay a specified cost, but for each Gohan out you can make your Krillin 1 energy cheaper. So like the best way to kind of have it is like 2 Gohan out, because Krillin will either cost you 1 green energy or 2, so 2 out is good. It's target for our like Child's Wish and all that. And the fact that it makes Krillin a lot cheaper to play is good, because Krillin's kind of essential to this deck. I've got Friend Summoning Gohan, so a set 1 card. It's a 2-drop 10k power, and when you play this card, look up to 7 cards from the top of your deck, choose the 1 Krillin among them and add to your hand. So when this came out you only had Human Shield Krillin, which is kind of naff. Oh wow, I can search my 1-drop blocker. Whew, Ghana. But now it's just become really useful for the deck, because you can search out like your Deadly Defender, your blockers, and just set up your drop for your big stuff. So going into the 4 drops, which again is just 1 character, kind of like in this format, we've got 4 copies of Fledgling Duo Krillin and 4 copies of Persistent Assault Krillin. So Fledgling Duo is a 4-drop with 15k. 1 of the energy has to be green, so Gohan can make it a 1-drop if you play enough of him. He has Blocker and the auto ability of when you play this card, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So like it's quite easy and quick to play, it's a blocker for a deck, so you don't need as many negates. You can pop something upon playing him, which is really handy because it's board control. And we've got Persistent Assault Krillin. So this is a 4-drop 15k power again. This time you need at least 2 green to play him. He has Barrier, the auto ability of when you play this card, draw a card. So if you play it from drop, you can draw a card. play it from hand, you can draw a card. If you play it from drop and you have Freeze Army Healing pulled out, you can draw 2 cards, which is really handy. And he has the permanent ability of, if your leader card is green or black and this card is in rest mode, your opponent's cards cannot attack your leader. So it's basically a deadly defender. The only difference is it's already lost 5k. So you don't have to be like, oh, minus 5k, but you can't attack my leader. It's just like, yeah, I'm just 15 all round. So, and the fact you can use it for green or black makes him really useful, because instead of just having like the 18, or you have to have the Goku, you can have Krillin. So, and the fact he draws your card kind of makes him better than Deadly Defender. He just costs like 1 energy more, but you know, trade-offs is trade-offs. So next, for the 5-drop of the deck, we got 4 copies of Final Showdown Son Goku. So it's 5-drop, 25k power, has double strike, has 2 auto abilities. So firstly, when a Krillin range cost of 4 or more in your battle area is KO'd by your opponent, if your lead card is green or black, play this card from your hand, and you can't play a Final Showdown Son Goku for the duration of turn. Those are your targets for his ability, and you can do it during your opponent's turn. And auto number 2 is when you play this card from your hand, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore a barrier and KO it. So obviously really useful for board control. You can kill basically anything as long as you play him from hand, which you're likely to do because the best way to play him is just doing his ability. You wouldn't really want to play it any other way unless you have to. And finally, we got a 6-drop for the deck, which is 3 copies of Awakening Rage Son Goku. So it's 6-drop with 25k power. He has Evolve onto a Son Goku. It costs 5 energy, 3 of which being green. He has double strike, but the permanent ability is if Krillin is in your drop area, this card gains triple strike. So instead of being a double striker, it becomes a triple striker. There is Krillins in the deck because you've got those 2, and let me find them quickly. The Human Shield. So you have potential in my version of the deck of like 11 Krillins in drop to give you that triple strike. And he has the auto ability of when you play this card, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards, which the total energy cost adds to 6, and KO them. So really good board control. You can hit multiple targets quite easily, although it doesn't get around barrier because it is set 1, but you know, it's still good. And the fact it's got triple strike makes it a threat. You can still have triple strike if you haven't evolved. You can still get the auto if you haven't evolved him. So it makes him a very good target for Porunga's ability, because if you want to push for that like end game and you know this is enough, you can play one out, you can evolve one, and you've got 2 triple strikers just there. So that is the Porunga Krillin deck profile. Just go with that name. So thank you all for watching, leave thoughts in the comments, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.